Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining another session at today's AI Insights Tech Showcase. Before I hand it on over to Erica, I just want to remind you about that Q&A box. If you have any questions, you can drop them there and we'll get to them at the end. But Erica, I will now hand it on over to you.
Thanks so much, Bridget. I appreciate it. I'm Erica Dinger, and I'm the Director of Research Services for Voxpopme. I've been in the market research industry for 25 years, both on the brand side and on the services side. I've worked in the nonprofit space with AARP, conducting member research, public policy research, and designing and evaluating programs. And I've also been on the for-profit side at Under Armour. On the services side, as head of full service research for North America at Qualtrics, I've worked with organizations across almost every field. So believe me when I say I have been where you are sitting right now and have weathered many of the same changes in the market and research industry that you're experiencing. For those of you that haven't heard of us, Voxpopme is an AI-powered qualitative insights platform for researchers at many of the world's largest companies. Our team is at the forefront of applying AI to qualitative research to make human stories more scalable and accessible, which is an incredible transformation. And fortunately for me, as Voxpopme's Director of Research Services, I get to use these shiny new AI tools to deliver full-service qualitative projects for insights teams at major US and international brands and agencies through our new services division. This gives me firsthand experience of where AI fits into the research process, and I want to share with you how I use AI to analyze qualitative research so you can do it too, whether you want to use Voxpopme or some other service. But before I get into Voxpopme's AI-powered tech and how it helps us analyze qualitative research, let's cast our minds all the way back to November of 2022. At that time, OpenAI released ChatGPT. It was the first time just about anyone could easily interact with AI. We refer to this AI as generative AI. Now, what was so special about generative AI? Well, it responds to us in a way that we'd expect a colleague or other human to respond. It understands nuance and context of our conversation. And Gen AI in particular has taken artificial intelligence from a lofty ideal used only in really difficult to access systems to a practical tool that businesses can use for tangible benefits already, and you're probably already using it in some way. Now, you would have to be living under a rock to have missed the hype around AI in the past year. From writing emails and articles to creating art with just a few prompts, AI has been hailed as either the greatest productivity booster since the Industrial Revolution or a sign of impending human obsolescence. So for market researchers, I think we have to ask ourselves, is AI friend or foe? A recent Qualtrics study of 250 market researchers found that 93% of those see AI as an industry opportunity, with 80% saying AI will have a positive impact on the market research landscape. I'm fully in this camp, and I think it is especially true for qualitative research. No one wants to give up having real conversations with real consumers, especially as we battle bots and fraud in quantitative research. But the dilemma has always been that all of that rich qualitative data takes a long time to wade through and analyze. And even then, you're always kind of worried that you might have missed something. That's where AI comes in, not as a replacement for you and your years of experience, but as a tool to help you understand and interrogate your data more efficiently. So it's time to dive deeper into what's possible with the AI-powered tools that are available today. Just 20 months after generative AI burst onto the scene, how can this technology accelerate your understanding of consumers on a human level? I'll do that by showing you how I've been using AI to deliver research projects for brands that have worked with Voxpopme's research services. So when are you going to use AI in qualitative research? Well, truly, you can use it at every stage of the journey. When we look at capture, now look, I love writing surveys, and I'm never going to want AI to do it for me. But there are days when I am staring at a blank screen and need a prompt, or maybe I want AI to fill out a basic discussion guide for me so that I can go in and customize it. Or maybe a stakeholder has given me a question in 3 parts that use all sorts of insider jargon, and I just really need to make it more consumer friendly. All of these are great uses of AI in the survey and discussion guide design process. But where I think AI really shines is in the analysis phase. Again, when you have hours of interviews or hundreds of short responses to go through, AI can be an incredibly useful assistant. It can help you uncover themes, search on specific phrases or topics, and identify specific interviews that you might want to highlight. And speaking of that highlighting, last but not least, AI is going to help us share our findings with our internal stakeholders, helping us build show reels and reports in less time, find those interviews that we really want to highlight, and help us to really make it shine. So as you probably guessed from the title of today's session, we really want to focus in on AI's role in transforming the analysis of qualitative research. So let's zoom in and see what the transformative effects we see AI having. First, we see AI replacing traditional time-intensive processes that underpin the analysis. You no longer need to manually watch, read, and code qualitative data, and we have all been there with our code books, right? AI can interpret your feedback, analyze transcriptions, and give you a first pass at the analysis. And then after a first pass, it can augment your work as you begin a deeper analysis. It will present you with summaries, key themes, and recommendations backed with supporting evidence you can use to verify the work of AI. More about that in a moment. And AI will even generate suggested further research based on its findings. This is where you can really feel AI making your analysis process more efficient. And finally, AI transforms qualitative analysis beyond anything we've experienced by making it possible to interact with and ask questions about your data to reveal more nuanced insights or ask probing questions that will help you better understand your hypothesis. And that works on single projects or across entire repositories of qualitative data. Again, this stage really brings the power of people and technology together and makes qualitative research possible at quantitative scale. Now let's take a look at how this works in real life. This is the Voxpopme platform. We're going to take a look at how this works with the findings page on AI Insights. This is a coffee project. So the AI key findings is highlighting three main areas of focus: personal experience and service, comparison of major chains like Starbucks and Costa, and the personalization of coffee orders. Here's a breakdown of the first key theme. We've used AI to identify that customers appreciate personalized coffee experiences. The AI has also provided video clips to back up these findings. Now you can click to preview each snippet of the video. If you wanted to quickly create a show reel based on this theme, you could add all of these clips into a show reel using that Add All to Show Reel button at the bottom. If you didn't want to add the whole set and only wanted to add one or two, you can simply use the plus icon. Here we can see respondents talking about their customer service experience and their personalization experience. If we wanted more context, we could see the quote in the transcript so you can understand everything that they're saying. The AI will also provide some follow-up questions there at the bottom. These questions that you can ask to further expand or clarify information that you've already been given. So now we know the incredible value AI can add to our analysis process, and I want to ensure you know how to get the best results from your new research assistant. I've been using AI to assist the delivery of projects in the new services division of Voxpopme. So we've learned some common missteps and how to avoid them, and we have some key takeaways to remember as well. AI is great, but it is some time away yet from being an all-knowing robot overlord, thank heavens. It has limitations. So one of our lookouts is just to be diligent. If you've used ChatGPT or any other popular generative AI, you'll know it can occasionally miss context or possibly even hallucinate. Now, one of the reasons it does this is because it is formulating its point of view from a vast general data set. Voxpopme's integration of ChatGPT limits the data set analyzed to your specific research. This minimizes the likelihood of hallucination because it has a very focused set of data to pull from. But of course, you are still the subject matter expert, and I would definitely recommend paying attention. Why is that helpful? Well, this is true. This just happened to me. I was using AI to help identify some themes and find key quotes for a client. And as I did so, I realized that some of my quotes around sustainability in my ecological concerns section were actually not about green sustainability or green energy. They were about price sustainability, a very important distinction. And without the supporting quotes provided by our AI, I could have overstated how important ecological factors were in this study. But because I was able to see all of that quote in context, as we just showed, I understood that they were actually talking about price sustainability and not green energy. So I was able to be a little bit smug that my research expertise is still very much needed. But the best part is I was able to dig into the evidence because our AI does provide that substantiating quote. I was able to go back to the source, understand what our interviewees were really saying, and make that point for our client. Another important use case is interrogating your qualitative data. There are many uses for this, of course. And as you delve deeper into your themes, you might want to see if anyone mentioned a specific topic or area. Old school searches would only bring up the very specific words that you're searching on. But with AI chat, you can ask questions more broadly and get deeper insights. So here are some prompts that we have been using. I have recently been using a lot of variations of what do respondents think about the color of the packaging, the resealability of the packaging, ability to find something on shelf. Give me examples of respondents talking about how much they love or enjoy their pet. Things like that. And you will iterate as you write these prompts, right? So it will be a continuous learning process for you and for the AI as you use these prompts. And last but not least, I would be remiss if I didn't mention AI's role in crafting deliverables. With each round of analysis, AI presents you with video evidence to support your findings. So as you can see here, based on the previous prompts, I've asked AI a question and it's giving me a text response based on its interpretation of my data. But crucially, it's giving me clips of real people telling real stories that support those insights. And when I'm creating a deliverable for insights teams, I can simply add those clips to a showreel and build a showreel of AI sourced insights verified by me that's ready to share it with my colleagues, which also just shaves off so much time of the analysis part and can really give those clients the right now insights that they need. So in conclusion, scale your research. You can now think beyond what was previously possible. We are literally about to start a project with 500 interviews, which if we were using humans to evaluate 500 interviews, there is no way we could do it in anywhere near a timely basis. And I would need an absolute army of analysts to interrogate that data. But with AI, we can actually create and understand the themes very quickly. Fast track every stage and free up your time to offer your unique skill and expertise to the process while letting AI do some of the boring stuff of getting through everything. By combining your expertise with that of AI's capabilities, you can usually use AI as a great research assistant. Now, if you're not comfortable doing this yourself or just want some help, we love talking about research. So even if you don't have your next project lined up, even if you're just interested in how this might be useful to you, schedule an informational meeting and discuss your research agenda with us and how Voxpopme can make it easier for you. And if you do have a project in mind, we can map it out together. So please take a moment to scan that QR code before we finish today, and then we'll schedule a meeting. Bridget, I think that you might have some questions from the audience.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you so much, Erica. This has been awesome. Just as a reminder to all of our attendees, if you have any questions, you can drop them in that Q&A box and we'll be sure to get to it. So Erica, to kick things off, what can humans do to identify bias in AI findings?
Well, I think that one of the things we've definitely learned is that you want to treat the AI as your research assistant, not as a replacement for you. AI is never going to know your brand, your product, your experience, right? It's never going to understand all of that. So really think of it as that really helpful assistant to get you part of the way there, and you're always going to need your expertise. I am in no way worried about AI replacing all of the brilliant researchers on this call.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Do I need to share that I used AI to produce my findings?
That's a great question. And I think it is really a timely one, right? Because this is all so new to all of us. My first answer is going to be to always check with your organization first, right? Do you already have some kind of a policy on this in your organization? So if you do, obviously follow that. If you don't, this might be something you want to bring up, maybe with your legal team or somebody else, if you should have this policy. Um, in general, I do both, right? It's like, do you tell your people you're emailing every time that you use ChatGPT to help you with an email or to help you with a paragraph? Probably not. But often we will put on the reports that we do, we will put like powered by AI just as we do in our regular tag. So that people know that we probably use AI in some part of the process, but since it's never doing all of it, I don't usually say that it's doing all of it because it's not.
Great. And it looks like we have one last question here. Do
Sure.
models learn off of my data, for example, training?
That is such an important question as we're using AI, right? I think it's really important to know that for how Voxpopme is using generative AI, it is basically a closed system. So it can only look at your data. It can't look at everybody else's data. We're not scraping everybody else's data. It's only looking at your interviews that you've collected. Now, it can look at interviews from this project, and you can also tell it to look at interviews from everything. That's where that data repository really can come into play. But no, we are not training any of the models on your data or anybody else's data. So every time you write a prompt, you're going to have to rewrite the prompt because it's not going to remember or have learned what you do. But it is going to be looking at that data very specifically.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erica. It has been so wonderful having you here with us today for today's tech showcase. And to our attendees, we'll see you over in the next session. Thank you.
Thanks so much.